In this video, we're going to cover some terminology most commonly used in video and motion graphics. And the first term I'll start with is codec. C-O-D-E-C. It stands for compress, decompress. When you're dealing with video files, you'll deal with many different codecs. Now, if we open our footage folder, I have a couple of different QuickTime files we can click on. I'll select the first one here. Here for my green screen footage, I'm dealing with MPEG-4 is a highly compressed codec. And usually it would be less than optimum to try and use that for keyable footage. But in order to have small file sizes for you to download and work with, we choose MPEG-4 as a good mix between a small fill size and still decent quality. Same thing with the board right here. This is H.264, which is another flavor of MPEG-4. It's just important to understand when you're dealing with footage, you can look at the codecs here in your project panel. And uncompressed codecs are typically always more favorable than compressed codecs. The next term we'll deal with this is channel. Every image inside of Photoshop as well as After Effects is made up of channels. Now if we go to the bottom of our composition panel, you'll see this little red, green and blue dot icon here. If I click on that, it'll allow me to view each of the different channels that I used to create that image. So I'm clicking through the red channel, the green channel and the blue channel. And when all those mix together for RGB, we get our finished image. The next term we'll use is alpha channel. Alpha channel is the fourth channel that determines transparency for an object. I'm going to switch comps to show you the alpha channel of this logo. I'll click back on the button and choose alpha, and here I can see I can drop that log anywhere. While we're here, there's title safe and action safe. These are two areas that determine whether or not your graphics will be seen when you play them back on other televisions. Most of the time you want text inside of title safe and your video inside of action safe. Let's go back to our RGB settings here. The next thing is mask. Now masks are created with the pen tool inside of After Effects. And if we select layer 4 here, you can see I've created a mask on this individual layer. Now I'm going to solo this layer, and if I open up my masks here, I can go ahead and change my mask mode. So you can see this mask is cutting out that part of my image. Masking is a process you'll use a lot to build composites. Compositing is a term that's described for layering multiple elements in a scene to create a finished graphic. As we're looking at masks, there's another term called rotoscoping. And a lot of times with video footage, as the video moves frame by frame, you want to cut out that video using masks. And as you adjust the masks, that process is called rotoscoping. You can rotoscope with masks, but you can also rotoscope with other tools like brushes. There's one more term called matte. A matte is different from a mask, in that masks are created with the pen tool and they're drawn on the page. A matte is something that happens naturally with any element that has transparency. For example, our snowboard text up here, I can use that to be a matte to cut out the background video layer. I'm just going to select my video layer and switch to my toggles and modes here. I'll use the alpha channel of this word to create a matte to cut out our video layer. Now I understand going through these terms quickly was a bit of a whirlwind, but these are terms you need to be familiar with as we move throughout the course, because we'll explore exactly what each of these terms mean in depth. But if you haven't heard of the term before, you would have had a base to start with.